smashed him.
You what? What the hell?
I get no bitches.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, everybody in between, from your baby mamas to your baby daddies. It is your voice, your purveyor of mischief, Gresh, letting you know that, hey, we got some surprise for you, bro. Like, yo, shouts out Swallow the Bandit. Shouts out Swallow the Bandit. She's actually still on site. She's been doing it. So what I've been doing was like, okay, while she's away, Gresh will be out to play. And what I mean by play, I'm going to be talking to some people. And that's what I'm doing here today. So for today's episode of the Gresh Unleashed podcast, I had the distinct honor of sitting down with my boy, my amigo from the YouTube universe, my boy BDE, Brandon Does Everything. And yo, when I tell you, this conversation, we was talking about wrestling. We got us a little sidetracked. We talked about everything in between. And we actually had a conversation off camera. And that's something between me and him. But yo, this guy is something you should look out for. He has a way more bigger following than me. But like I said to him, and like I said to you now, I don't really care about numbers. I'm all about the vibes in the conversation. But yo, I'm not going to waste too much time on this intro because it was a solid conversation that I think you guys will enjoy, because it's just two black brothers vibing, talking about the professional wrestling and the scripted violence, as I would say. And I hope you guys actually enjoy it. But before we get on, we got to give a special shout out to our sponsors, Patreon, patreon.com/Gresh Digital. They are our official sponsors for this podcast. If you are, whatever the tier is, you get a lot of stuff from us. I hope you guys get every dime worth that you get from me and Swella as well. And speaking of Swella, new episodes of Watch and Vibe, the Patreon exclusive series, will return when she gets back and when she's actually not hooting and hollering around doing her thing. But yo, this conversation with BDE, I'm not gonna waste too much time. I'm gonna let you guys check it out. Brandon Does Everything is at the table and he's about to get unleashed. Check it out.
Let's go.
All right, so Brandon Does Everything. Like, where did this name come from? Like, were you just this type of person that was a busybody that said, hey, I want to do everything? Or is it just something you're just like, I don't care?
Yeah, honestly,
where did it come from?
It's basically what you said. Like, honestly, at the time, I was doing like Minecraft content, Call of Duty content, whatever I felt like at the time. And then like a couple like WWE quizzes in there. So at the time, I was like, well, I don't got any other names, and when it comes up with me coming up with names, not creative. I'm gonna say that right now. When I made that name, I was like, okay, there's no way that I'm not gonna grow. So I was like, whatever. So I just set it to Brandon Does Everything. That long ass fucking name. Can I cuss?
Yes, you good.
Okay,
you good.
Yeah, that long ass fucking name, dude. So that's where that came from. And then over time, the WWE video started doing better than all the other content. And then the name just stuck. And then I was like, okay, I'm tired of this fucking name. I'm shortening it.
BDE is what we're gonna do.
Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, let me show you. So this plaque, right? My name was so long, I couldn't even fit Brandon Does Everything on it.
So you had to put Brandon DE.
Yes, I had to write something else on it.
Oh man, yo! Fun fact about YouTube names for those who are listening. Like I've said this countless times. YouTube names are is one of the hardest things to come up with. That it's like you don't want to come up with something that'll get you stuck in the category, or you don't want to come up with something that'd be like, okay, how do you pronounce that? Because there's so many people on here. I'm like, where did this come from?
Right, dude.
Like,
there's so many creators. I'm trying to pronounce their names. I love their content, but I'm like, what's the name, bro?
Shit. Okay. Can't do that. Because fun fact about me, I've had 4 YouTube names before I settled on my last name, which is Gresham. Gresh. Literally that simple. I after twisting my brain with trying to come up with names over the past decade, I'm like I think it was my boy. Shout out my boy Derek. He said, "Bro, just cut your name in half, just Gresh." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." Because it started off as Mr. HSR Show, Don't ask where that came from. I don't know.
I was just about to ask.
Mr. HSR show. Then it switched to 2K EP games because I was playing 2K a lot, so I was like 2K EP. Whatever. Then it was Kajuji, and I don't even know where that came from. I was just like, that sounds cool. And then as I started really doing the research about the name, I said, that's not bad to happen because I don't want to be tied with that.
Yeah.
So I just settled with Gresh, and then I'm like, it was Gresh Digi Games. But then I was just like, ain't nobody finna say Digi Games, so just say Gresh. It's literally you. It's your brand. It's your content, whatever the case may be. But brother, what made you kind of like, I know you say the WWE games stuff, like it did more like popular, like some YouTubers don't even care about the popularity, they just want, like, what made you think, just say, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to stick with doing WWE or wrestling gaming content? Because I know they got other games that are coming out, like AEW games are going to be coming out soon, and I believe the Wrestling Code is supposed to come out at some point. So many other games that I've been following as you. What made you say, okay, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to stick with this? Like, was it just because you love it, or was it just because you like, hey, this is just the content that is whatever?
Honestly, I think it's just because I love it. Like, I've been watching WWE specifically since I was like 8 or 9. And then, you know, just growing up with it, watching it every week, because I was that kid who watched it every week. I when I was younger, I didn't miss a Raw, bro. Like, that's when it was still somewhat watchable. So like I was watching it all the time, dude. So like during that period, I don't know, there was just like some type of passion for it. Like, I loved Call of Duty and I loved Minecraft, and I still do, but like it was like, I wouldn't even call it a passion. It was just a games I heavily enjoyed. But like, I don't know, making WWE content was just easy. Like, I didn't have to think about it too much. Like with Minecraft, I was like kind of struggling after like a year or so. I was struggling new ideas and how am I going to stand out in this oversaturated market? Same with Call of Duty. And at the time, WWE gaming content was not saturated at all. It still isn't really.
No, it's not. Like, you have to. It's because it's funny that you mentioned that, because now that, even though the game is out, it's like, unless you have your core audience, no one is really looking for a WWE game.
Yeah.
I think mainly because probably what happened with 2K20. We all know what happened with 2K20. Or it could be just a lot of people are just not really interested in the scripted sports video game when you got UFC and you have all these other these boxing games that are still coming out or still out. Or some people are more so into the story driven type of games, like Assassin's Creed or something like that. So it could. So I guess, like, when I tell you, to be honest with you, I done some research on your name as opposed to WWE games, and people are researching your name more than WWE games.
Yeah, I noticed that over time. It's kind of crazy.
And I'm like, bro, when I saw that, I was like, so it's more so about I think that's the evolution of YouTube. It's more so about what you do and what you bring to the table. Because I know a lot of people, I know some people in my Discord, they're like, hey, are you going to finish the My Ride series? Hey, bro, I'm trying to tell you, it's not that I'm not trying to finish it. I work my ass off a lot. I work too much. I literally do everything. I do everything behind the scenes and in front of the cameras. Like, I'm trying. I'm trying my best. It's hard.
Bro, it's hard. I think a lot of people downplay what we do. I've had conversations with people I know in real life, and then I'll say, like, they'll be like, what are you doing tomorrow? I'll be like, oh, I'm just working tomorrow. That's it. And they're like, work? What do you mean? I'm like, all right, calm down. Like, look, I know it's not physically exhausting, but it's mentally exhausting.
Bro, like, I've always pulled the camera back with me. I tell people, yo, I'm the writer, director, producer, editor, and talent. Dog, the first chance I get, and I get me an editor, here you go, bro. I will record all this. You will get more uploads from me because, good Lord, man. Dude, I think I've recorded. I think I saw you post about you and Macho T's. Shout out the Outer Circle. You and Macho T. Your video that you guys did recently, and it was over. What was it? Over 3 hours?
Dude, that video took 2 hours and like 22 minutes. It took so long. I love that series. I do that 4v4 thing since like last year with 2K20. I love that series, but I really don't know if I'm going to be able to do it anymore. They break it up all the time, or if I do it, it has to be one pinfall instead of like everyone gets eliminated until there's like one person.
And I'm pretty sure you saw my tweet yesterday before AEW came on. I said, bro, finishers in 2K22 mean jack shit.
They don't mean anything. 2 finishers a minimum, and they still might kick out.
And I'm like, come on, let me.
That don't
and
make
I think
sense.
I was like, yo, this is NXT. This is NXT Black and Gold. This is prime NXT where everybody was kicking out. Remember Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano where he was kicking out every finish. I was like, bro, I still use
matches.
I still use that CM Pulse meme where he's like, just stop, because that's literally me every time I'm playing 2K22. I'm like, bro, come on. And then it shouldn't take me 2-3 tombstones to put R-Truth. I love and respect R-Truth. That's my guy. But it's like, bro, I should not be using. Undertaker should not be using 4 or 5 tombstones to put you away.
That's what I'm saying, dude. No, I was trying to get a thumbnail like a week or 2 ago, and it was just to hold up a title, right? I just needed it for the thumbnail, and I just did my creative character, Brandon Collins, and then Arya Daivari, one of the lowest overalls in the game. I literally just needed to pin him for this animation, right? I didn't bother getting my second controller. I'm like, it's Arya Daivari, whatever. So I did 2 finishers, and he still kicked out. I said, what the hell? I did a 3rd one. He still kicked out. I said, all right, bet. All right, cool. I know how this game goes by this point. Signature, finisher. This nigga kicked out. I was like, what the hell?
What?
I'm like, it's Arya Daivari. I get if it's the head of the table, but we talking about Arya Daivari.
It's the foot of the table, not the head of the table. What are you talking about? Why are you
gum under the table?
Just lose, please.
Like, bro, I'm just trying to get a thumbnail, please. The game is fun though.
Yeah, yo, it's a challenge to transition from 2K19 because I know. Shouts out Pro Wrestling Mods because they convinced me to get on PC. Transition from 2K19 to 2K20. It was a rough patch, but I got 1 episode of Universe Mode out, and I'm like, all right, we're in a ball game. But I told people straight up, I said, yo, don't expect no because I know when I was on 2K19, I was like, I'll do bi-weekly. I said, don't expect no bi-weekly from me. I'm sorry. No, because it takes me now that I've joined the group that with you guys, now it takes me 2 days to get the perfect thumbnail. And even then, it still isn't perfect for me because I am such a perfectionist. Is probably to the detriment of my sanity, but it is what it is. That's YouTube for you. What is your advice that you would give somebody? I'm not saying give out all your secrets. Hey, we got to have some things close to the chest now. Come on now.
Hey, look, I keep a couple things close to the chest, but I love to teach. YouTube is my thing, bro. I love to teach.
Oh yeah, bro. For those of you who are listening for the very first time, like, yo, this man is a student of the game. I'm like, people don't really. I'm more of a private person, so I don't comment on everything. When I literally see you, and I'm like, bro, this dude is going to be an amazing, like, leader of a full-blown media production type company. And the reason why I say that, because it's like, it's so many people out there who don't have that drive or that passion to kind of do what you do. And the fact that you're a student, like, you study every little thing, like, bro, I'm pretty sure you some things you'd be like, yo, did I remember to eat today?
I was just talking to my boy Santiago about that yesterday. Like, I literally forget to eat. My girlfriend Katie will have to remind me. She's like, "Did you eat today?" And I'm like, "No." Like, oh, my bad.
That's the same with me because I know yesterday I caught myself slipping. I was like, bro, I feel like I'm forgetting something because I was at work. I was operating the show because for those who don't know, I do the YouTube and the podcast, but I'm also an audio specialist, an audio technician. So audio, visual, everything is that's literally like second nature to me because I've been doing that for literally since I was 14 years old. I'm 27 now. So it's like I'm always hooting and hollering. So like when I don't tell people this, before this year, I was working 2 jobs doing YouTube and trying to remember to eat.
And that's dedication right there. That's a lot of that's a lot of long hours.
So, and then for those of you who don't really know, like I was helping doing a lot of production media for reshoots of Miss Marvel. So I was kind of doing for Disney Plus. So I was doing that and YouTube. That's what I'm saying. I was always working. So there are people who post their life, and I'm the people who forget to post their life. I'll be like, damn, this is cool, this is fun, and then I'll be like, did I forget something? Ah, shit, I forgot to post. So it's like now I'm more so focused, more so like, yo, I'm gonna do this YouTube, but I'm still get this money on the side to kind of keep it family, because people don't know, like this YouTube ain't a full-time job. Like when it get there, it'll get there, but
you wanted to be? You wanted to go full time?
I wouldn't be mad about it. I wouldn't be mad at it. Put it this way. I'm at that age now where I don't really crave like to do something, because I'm part-time now with a lot of stuff that I do, because it's more so like, yo, I want to do it for the fun of it, not because I have to work. So if YouTube, if like say I break 10,000 subscribers within the span of 6 months, I'm gonna be like, yo, this is cool. What's next? That's me. So I'm not really like, oh, I gotta do it. Like if it gets to that point where I'm like, I gotta do this, I gotta check out, because it's like one thing that is 100% my thing is my mental health and my sanity. Like I remember, to give you a story, 2 weeks ago I had a show where I was helping set up, and I saw, like, we have for AV shows, we have project managers. And I had this guy who I know he likes to wing it, so I already can see in the future that his show is gonna be the shit show. So what I did was I pulled up my schedule, and I told the operations manager, I said, okay, I'm gonna work with you Monday and Tuesday to set up, but I'm gonna need Wednesday all the way off. And he was like, what do you mean by that? I said, because I already see this shit is gonna be the drizzling shits. This is gonna be the show that I already know that I'm like, if it going to drive me insane, I can work on YouTube. I can do some videos within that week. So a week fast forward, the director, the guy who's over the dude who I told to give me the week off, he said, bro, you better be glad you took that week off, because it was the drizzling shits.
Listen, I already knew that, brother.
I already
Why
knew.
you think I asked for them days off?
Like, dude, come on now. I'm from Atlanta, GA. We ain't doing that. You're not finna drive me crazy, bro. Because I will knock you out before you drive me crazy.
Dude, I'm at the age where I'm only 22, but I feel like I'm already at the age where I just let shit slide, bro. I'm just like, I don't have the mental capacity for it.
No, and that's why I put out that tweet before that you mentioned. I'm like, just let it slide, because I had a venture that is a little shaky right now. It's more so in that situation where it's like, will it be a blow up, or will it blow up in my face? And it's like, okay, I'm just gonna let that sit there. Let that marinate. Let that not the white version. We don't do raisins.
Oh, nah.
We letting it marinate and soak, and then I'm just gonna move on to something else. Because it's like outside now that I have more control of my schedule, I try to do more short videos. So it's like now that I'm gonna move back into that. I'm like I might stream, I might do all this stuff. But VYBE, shout out to VYBE right quick. Let me move on to that. Shout out VYBE, man. When I tell you, I think I watched, the first person I watched out of all of y'all was Nitro.
Yeah,
it was Dog. That's who he built the bridge between me and VYBE, and that was more so like, yo. Fun fact: for those of you who know, I quit doing video gaming content on my channel pretty much majority of 2019 when 2K20 hit. And I said, and then to speed it up, I went back to pro wrestling mods and all that stuff that kind of helped me get back into 2K19 and kind of build my universe mode. Because anybody who's on my channel, they've in a way categorized me with universe mode. So it's like I can't, even if I want to, I can't like clean my hands of it. So when I said,
not to cut you off, but I'll say yes, you can.
Oh, I can. I know.
In my career bubble for a minute.
Oh, I know. Oh, believe you me, we're gonna get there, because I have some plans in motion where I'm going to cut that tie. But for now, and it's like I'm not really complaining about it, because I'm still kind of having a little fun with it.
Right.
So it's not like I'm like, it's the moment I told all my viewers, I said the moment it becomes a chore, I'm done. Right. That's one thing. That's just how it is. But for that story, it's like, okay, I was just sitting there, I was just planning it out, and I was mapping it out. I said, okay, so how I'm gonna do this, because everybody's doing the WWE 2K universe mode for Raw, universe mode for SmackDown. I said, okay, how I'm gonna do this? So I just sat back. So I sat back. I don't know if you know these cats they're no longer in it no more. Over the Edge,
I don't think
OTE.
so.
They did like WWE Monday Night Octane like in 2012 or something like that. They did it when modding on Xbox 360 was a thing.
Oh, nice.
So I watched their videos and I was like, that's a good idea. So I said, instead of me copying that, let me take inspiration from that. And I said, okay, Monday Night Carnage. And I'm like, okay. So what I did with that, I was like, okay, I'll take that. It's a one show thing. I'll do it bi-weekly. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm thinking it's just gonna be like, well, hey, here's the floor, here's the door, whatever. People started coming in droves, and then what I did was I hit up Phoenix Nitro, because I believe he was going through some things personally back at the time, and he was like, bro, I was like, yo, if I drop you this 50, will you be able to commentate a match? And he was like,
was that in 2019?
Yeah,
I do remember that.
It was like it was Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. That was the match.
Oh, I remember that. I remember hearing him do that.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, bro. That was the first, like, when I used to do universe mode, I used to just record it and like just nonchalantly. But I was like, bro, okay, I dropped this 50. This is the first time I invested in this whole universe mode outside of buying a video game. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna script the hell out of this match. And when I got the audio back, I was like, oh, this shit is about to blow up. That's all I can say. So shout out.
Be putting his all into it.
Yo, I tell this man, I'm like, and the thing is, I tell people all the time, I say, bro, just create a bridge. Because with him, I didn't expect to be introduced to you or Chris, or should I say Deadlock boys? They're Deadlock guys, because they're pretty much all in the same category. I was just like, yo, this is a nice connect. I can hit him up anytime. He was like, yo, you want to join this Discord? I'm like, okay, cool. And then I joined with y'all, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is the thing. This happened. But what led to the creation of VYBE, if you mind me asking?
Oh no, I'm an open book, bro. You can ask me anything. If it ain't, yeah, I'm an open book. Anyways, so I was bored. I wanted to, I think it was 2018. Is it? Yeah, it was either 2018 or very early 2019.
Oh, so y'all kind of new in a way.
Yeah, because I've known Aaron since 2018 when he was posting my Twitch content. Yeah, or no, I actually found out about him through YouTube, but then later I figured out he did Twitch longer. But yeah, so I watched his career content because it was solid. He was putting on banger matches. I was like, okay, I fuck with this dude. So I think I forgot how we started communicating, probably Twitter. And then we just became friends through that. And then one day I was like, man, I really want to move out of Georgia, or because I moved out of Atlanta to Albany, and I did not like living there. I didn't really have anyone I wanted to be friends with there. The power was always going out because of like storms and stuff. So it really just, if I wanted to continue YouTube, I couldn't live there anymore. And then there was like a hurricane that came through from like Florida. I'm sure you probably remember. That hurricane messed me up.
What year was that?
5 days straight. No internet.
What year was that? What year was that?
It had to be 2018, 2019.
Yep. Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, because Dalt lived somewhat close to me. I think he lived like an hour away from me, which I didn't even know at the time. Yeah, he lived like an hour away from me. And then he told me, he was like, yeah, me and my mom saw you going through the hurricane and we were fine. So we almost kind of offered to drive up and give y'all some water or something.
Jesus.
Yeah. So then I hit up Aaron one day. I was like, yo, do you want to get a YouTube house? Because I was like, I want to move out. I didn't know how he felt about it, and he was down. He was like, yo, I got one more dude, if that's okay. I'm like, yeah, who you got? And then that's how Dalt came into the mix. We started up a group chat on Discord. We just had like Discord calls, like what is our goal? What do we want to do? At the time, it was to get away from the WWE content, but then like over time, we realized, let's just make the WWE content.
you tried and you be like, yeah. Because if you don't know, I wasn't always WWE content. I was NBA. I was what other game? I think I tried Star Wars. Like when 2K20 hit, that was when I really went into trying anything else, see what stuck. And it was like they was just like, I want WWE. I want WWE. I'm like, fuck.
Like, honestly, at this point, like if anyone has like made WWE content on their channel for so long and built some type of audience, you might as well just make another channel if you want to do something else.
Yeah, shout out to you, because I believe you made a second channel. I know it ain't been active because I've had a second channel as well, because I think Freeopedia. So if you ever on Twitch or whatever and you see Freeopedia, it's literally me. Because I know I would be in you guys' either you, Chris, or whoever's streaming. They'd be like, what is Freo? I'm like, it's literally Gresh.
It's just me, guys. It's just me.
It's just me. It's just literally it's a joint channel that I'm starting. It's like Freeopedia is literally free content where I was like, I started that. I'm like, okay, I want to continue to do this WWE wrestling gaming or wrestling in general content, but I want to also tap into my other interests. Like I want to produce videos that is non-wrestling, because literally I'm 27. I'm getting kind of old. I'm ready to do something else.
You got some quality time left on this earth.
I'm getting kind of up there. I'm trying to expand this bubble. But yo, it was like I created me and my shout out highlight reel. Because if you ever hear any vocals, like I know you probably caught on the wave a little bit late. My boy highlight reel, he would do covers to theme music. Like I think the last one he dropped was the Roman Reigns one, to his Head of the Table, to the Bobby Lashley one, the Almighty. I'm gonna actually send you the direct link of the videos, because it's actually on my YouTube.
Okay.
And it's literally, he's one of the guys that I do, and I always try to link him with everybody, because wrestling is literally one of his passions. He mixed up his love for God and hip hop and wrestling into one big old bubble, and I'm like, bro, you got something there. He's kind of like Josiah Williams.
Oh, okay, that's sick.
So he's kind of like that. But in the fun fact, I don't know if he dropped it yet, but he's actually collabed with him. He's working, and I'm like, bro, I will plug that man as much as possible. Just like I try my best, even though I know you guys have more subscribers or whatever, I try my best to be like, yo, check this dude out. Like this dude got some content. Like even though it's probably not your cup of tea, I try to introduce guys to you guys for your personalities as less of the content, because I feel like, yo, you can do something even if it ain't wrestling related. I'm like, bro, give this dude a script. Give this dude, because I be talking to so many writers and producers and directors. I'm like, bro, just check this guy out, please.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, like for me at least, like I don't even care about numbers. Like I used to, in a way, when I was like first starting out. I was like, okay, I kind of want to do collabs with people around my same size, so we're growing at the same time. But I feel like now I've just gotten to the point where I just want to connect with people if they got a cool personality. I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, like with me, it's like I've had someone who has this dry personality. Like you can tell that they're living their age and not really having fun. And I did like one video with him, and I said, he was like, when is it gonna drop? And I said, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is the drizzling shits. I cannot drop this because I'm 100 and you're like 20. Yeah, and I'm like, dude,
you gotta match the vibes.
It gotta be a balance. I'm like, so when I linked up with my boy Highlight, me and him have the same vibes. It's just more so our schedules is all over the place. It seems like the older you get and the more responsibility you take, your schedule, you be like, what the fuck?
Dude, I've had a meeting literally every day this week. That's never happened to me before. I've never had a meeting every single day. I've had meetings, calls, podcasts.
I think I saw you put on one of your, because I told you, I literally, once I get that notification from you, Chris, Pulse, and Macho, and all Aaron and Dalt, I'll be like, yo, I pay attention. So when I saw you, was like, hey, this is enough for this video. I got a meeting to get to in like 8 minutes. I'm like, this dude right here.
I was like, dude, I thought I was gonna be late. I was sitting there for like 30 minutes filming that video, and I'm like, shit, okay, I really need a good point to end this video because I don't want to just end it on a random ass Baron Corbin match or some shit. But I'm like, I got 8 minutes. Sorry, y'all, I'm out. Because I was like the only point where I could film that video that day, and like if I needed, or I wanted to get my video out the next day, so I'm like. If I wait until after the meetings, then my girlfriend's gonna be pissed at me because now we're supposed to be hanging out at this time. So I'm like, all right, I gotta film it before this meeting.
A man with priorities. That's how you
know.
This man got priorities, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to be. You gotta be a man with priorities because when you mention girlfriend, keep in mind. I always tell people they be like, hey, when you gonna give your mama some grandkids? When I find the time, motherfucker.
No, dude, I don't even know if I want kids, to be honest. Like, I really used to. Like, I made this decision like recently. Like when I was growing up, I don't know why it was just instilled. I was like, oh, I want kids. Like, you know, I want to
be a daddy one day.
Yeah, I was like, I wouldn't mind it. I like kids. Why not? You know, whatever. But then over time, I was like. No, I was like, I don't want to deal with the diapers. I don't want to deal with all this. I can barely take care. I barely eat. I was like, how am I gonna feed a kid? If
I barely feed myself, what makes you think I'm gonna feed another tiny human that needs milk 24/7?
For real, bro. I was like, nah. I don't know if this ain't for me. Maybe in a couple years, maybe. I don't know. Maybe at this current moment, no. I don't want no kids.
I think
I got 3 cats. Those are my kids.
Yes, enjoy like sometimes I'll dog sit my cousin's dog, and I'll be like, my mom be I'm like, here's your grandkid, have fun. Shit. Because no, man, it's more so it's like it's so much deep. You got to go into like you got to make sure is it the right person? Are you the right person to be a parent? Like it's so much to go into. People just think like, hey, let's just pop in, pop out, and whoop, here's baby.
Yeah.
Nah,
I think when I was younger, I was just living in like more of like a fantasy almost. Like, oh, having kids would be fun. I would love like, you know, going to their games and playing basketball with them and all that and cooking with them and blah, blah, blah. But then over time, I'm like, okay, this is a lot. This is a lot. I'm not ready for it. And plus, like, that is a lifelong decision. That's something that you can't just be like, yeah, I want kids. Like, I mean, if that's who you are, then sure, you know, feel free.
Yeah,
but,
you be like, yeah. Oh, sure. What? Oh, you're mine now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is there a way to return you to? No, okay. So nope, you stuck. Nah, but yo, it's like it's so many questions I can give you, but yo, this is a solid conversation so far. And if anybody wants me to bring on more content creators, just let me know. Like I always tell people, because it's like it's I don't mind having a conversation, but I'm gonna flip the switch. Do you have any questions for me?
What made you get into wrestling content? Like, because you know you've been dabbling in other stuff. What made you do like wrestling? Or specifically, actually, no. I'm gonna rewrite that question. Why universe mode? I'm curious.
Woo! Oh, with 2K22. It's the only one that stuck. When I tell you that, like I started on Twitch as well. I feel like everybody started on Twitch at some point, but I started on Twitch as well with 2K15, and I was just playing universe mode. That was when it was the driest game possible. So I was just playing universe mode. That was when I didn't really care too much about it because I was watching wrestling in real life. So I was like, oh, this is a video game. I'm on Twitch. I had one viewer, and more than likely it was my mama. But I had one viewer, and I was just putting matches together. And then what I did was I was like, oh, I'm gonna create this YouTube channel. So I created a YouTube channel. Fun fact: I had a YouTube channel, non-wrestling. It was just a vlog channel. And it's literally it was the former home of the channel that says Freepedia now. So most of those subscribers that are there are from my old vlog channel. Anybody asking for those videos, they're private. They're not ever. You're never going to see them again because
he's like,
give up. Because people say they're like, so let me see. No, but with universe mode, I just it's like over time I didn't really start taking it serious until 2K18. Like as far as like with the editing, because around the time that 2K18 hit, 2K18 hit, I was just graduating SAE. Shout out SAE. I was that was a school of audio technology, and by the time I started, I was in the semester where we was dealing with film production and film audio. So I was like, I'm still doing this. So how about I do this universe mode. Like let me get into detail. So it's like I would start following guys like Delzinski and Murphs, because Murph was still he was still rising as well. So I'm following these guys and I'm like, they're actually going into detail with it. Instead of me mimicking that, let me just take little tidbits of it. Because there's some people out there, some content creators that'll just copy your whole flow.
Yeah,
I think of that Soldier Boy meme. Copy my whole fucking flow, word for word,
word for word.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, it's like, okay, I'm more so of a man of integrity when it comes to my content. So I'm like, okay, let me take inspiration from this person, and just like, okay, let me sit down and do this. So I would do this. And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, it's getting traction. My computer crashed. So I was like, fuck, I got to start over. So I was like, do. So by the time I got to, now that I know where I am, I have backups after backups. I'm literally sitting at 3 computers. It's literally 2 monitors. And then I got my editing computer that I'm going to slowly transition to Premiere Pro. So I won't have to use this as much. But I literally, I'm so like hectic about my backup because I don't want that to happen again to where I have to crash. And it's at that point now, especially with PC, because when you doing PC mods, you run the risk of a possible corrupted data.
Oh my God, that sucked, dude.
So the beauty behind that is I have everything organized. So all I had to do was literally when 2K19 would corrupt, all I had to do was just copy and paste. And everything was just only thing I had to do was recreate the arenas. And then once I started really dabbling, I designed my own graphics. I designed my own lower third. So like if you ever look at my videos and any lower third is never in game. That's how detailed I have in it. And then I believe if anybody watched my latest WrestleMania universe mode, I introduced 3D graphics to where I would take a camera angle that I saw in the game and I would crop it in my editing software. And then I would like take a logo like Roman Reigns' logo. If you look at the entrance, that logo isn't in game. It's literally I took it and I traced it with the software that I purchased. Because when I tell you I'm investing in this channel, I literally buy everything if it's feasible. If I know I'm gonna get it back, I pretty much made that money back with that exact YouTube video. So I ain't really tripping over it.
Right.
So I would trace it, and then in post, it literally just be a whole 3D graphic. And that was when I started using Highlight Reel's theme music. So he did he added lyrics to his Head of the Table song. So when the beat dropped, you saw the graphic pop up and people were like, yo, what is this? When did this happen? What's going on? I'm like, bro, this is just me I was literally dabbling with it. I'm like, bro, this is just me dabbling with it. So it's just, and people just like, yo, so it took me until 2K19. So 2K19 saved me content wise.
Yeah, that's crazy. 3 graphics, I see you.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. And it's like during that, I've started producing podcasts more. Like like outside of this podcast, which is technically 6 episodes in. This is the 6th episode. I've technically almost produced over 200 episodes. Some that no one has ever seen, and the one that I was not pleased with it from my performance. I just said, I'm just gonna pull all 100. I think we was 123 episodes in. I said, pull them all. I literally sat back and said, pull them all, because I was just like, this is, you know how when you're in a podcast, you trying to find yourself. I was at one point I was trying to do the news and rumors BS behind the scene. I'm like, I don't care about this. Yeah. And then I tried to do the weekly reviews, and I'm like, I don't like all these shows. So it's like now when I do the podcast, I try to go live Thursdays at 9. And when I mentioned me and my co-host, shout out Swella, she's literally hooting and hollering. She was set. I think she was behind the scenes for WrestleMania, so she was setting up. She was in Dallas, so she was setting up for that. So I had my boy Highlight Reel fill in for her. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna focus more on the interview sides, because I don't mind interviewing, because I like talking to people. So I'm like, okay, I'll do the interview when you're away. So podcasting me and stuff. So when I tell people, hey, check out this, do this, I'm not really tripping over numbers. I know I have a foot in the door, even if I do decide to say, you know what, I'm done with YouTube in front of the camera. I can hit people up, hey, you need me to edit your video? Because I've edited a few videos for Element Games. I've edited a few videos for Third Strike. I know he's one of those guys that he's not really doing it anymore. He got his own stuff going on. But it's like I've edited for a lot of people. So I'm like, that's literally me. So with this universe mode, I got one video that when I'm done with this, I'm going to more like do commentary for, and that's going to drop next week. So it's like I'm literally, hey, yeah, let's go, let's go. Hey, it's a bop every time because I have my music playing in the background.
Yep. Dude, no, when I watched one of your universe videos, I forgot which song it was. I think it was Way Up from Aaron. I was like, no way. That got a pop out of me. I was like, oh, that's sick.
Because the fun fact, I hit him up. I said, bro, you mind if I use this? Because it's like, even though he said it, I'm like, bro, do you mind? Because I know some people, they say it, and I kind of go out of my way to be like, yo, you mind if I use this? He's like, yeah, use it. And I sent it to him. He was like, bro, what is this? This is fire. I'm like, hey, this is literally me. I literally edited that entire video. It took me 20 minutes.
That's crazy.
So it's like the more I've edited, the shorter it takes me to do. So but I can never get on WWE level of editing. I'm like, you guys are, your product is kind of iffy and hit and miss from time to time, but
dude, their video packages be on point. They don't miss when it comes to video packages.
The Roman versus even I know the match was kind of a
that match was ass.
It was a finisher spam. It was literally like playing 2K online.
That's what I'm saying. Man, I was like, I wasn't even looking forward to that match for real. Like before they announced that they were gonna unify the titles, then it piqued my interest a little bit. So like, and then when WWE hooked me up with some tickets, I was like, okay, now I'm interested to see it because I'm gonna see it in person. But I'm sitting there and the hype is there, bro. And I don't know. I don't exactly understand what wrestlers talk about, but I know what they mean when they say you really just feel that energy when a big fight feel is happening, you feel it. So like, well, I'm just sitting in the audience, Roman's music hits and the arena loses their mind, bro. And whatever reaction they're doing, they're losing their mind. Brock comes out, they're losing their mind. And that whole moment where they were just like sitting in the ring and, you know, ring announcements happening, you know, champion, Roman Reigns, whatever. The crowd is just invested. Like no one, I didn't really see anyone looking at their phones or anything. People were zoned in. But then the match started. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like they tried to recreate the 2015 match and missed every single time.
Yeah, because like part of me, like, I don't know, this might be me getting worked here. I know there have been reports that said Roman was not hurt. You cannot convince me that he didn't get hurt in some way, shape, or form, bro.
Oh, his shoulder was out.
It was bulging, and like he tried to hold up both titles. One's lower than the other. I'm like, nah, bro. I don't care what the dirt sheets say. That dude was hurt for a second.
Nah, because as somebody who separated, like I got a calf on my hand because I separated my shoulder.
Damn,
that was separated. So I'm like, yeah, they had to wrap it up, and that probably was it because I think it's like we've seen, and don't get me wrong, I don't mind matches that have finishers, but if it's the same match every time that I've seen it.
Exactly. Like I love a finisher spam match, if I'm being honest. Like I love quick sprints, like the stuff with Brock and Goldberg the first time at like Survivor Series, I think in 2016. I loved that match because it was the shock value of Brock losing that fast was insane. And like their match at Mania, whatever one it was, I think it was the one with the roller coaster, I think.
Was that with Goldberg?
Yeah, Goldberg and Brock for the Universal title.
Yeah, that was 33.
It was still red at the time.
Fruit Loop.
That match was good too, in my opinion. So I love a good sprint, but if it's just F5, spear, and then
Superman punch, Superman punch.
Yeah, I'm
Superman
like, I need
punch.
a little in between.
I'm like,
a
bro,
little storytelling.
Like, bro, come on now. Like you, and then you had the like I was just. And I think, and the funny thing is, I wasn't even expecting The Rock to show up. I just wanted a good match.
Yeah, same.
I didn't care. Look, if The Rock didn't, if the match was, because don't get me wrong, the entire weekend, like I'm one of those guys who's pretty much halfway checked out of WWE. I watch it pretty much every week at this point, even still, because I just try to watch it because I'm like, I just watch it out of habit. But it's be background noise. But it's like, bro, this WrestleMania, I'm like, this is the most interest I've been in WrestleMania since. When's the last time it's been a minute since I've been interested in WrestleMania. So I'm like from top to bottom. So I'm like, okay, y'all hitting.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee, shout out to Pat McAfee for being one of the best celebrities out there.
The crowd was on fire for Pat. I was like, I don't know why I wasn't expecting that. Like, I expected him to get a good pop. I expected him to get good reactions, but he genuinely, like, I don't know how it sounded on TV, but he had one of the loudest reactions of that whole weekend.
Michael Cole was full fanboy. He put JR being a fanboy for King to shame. That's how I
listen to it. I haven't heard.
That's how good it was. Like he literally said, yo, I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I'm telling you this right now, I am not. I am going, and everything Pat did, like, yo, I'm like, this guy is good. Like,
yeah, like if he really wanted to take it seriously, he could.
And Bad Bunny are those two that I'm like, yo, these are the guys I had low expectations for, but they knocked them things out of the park. I'm like, yo, this is great.
Yeah.
And the fact that the crowd was singing his theme song the whole time. The fact that he was singing his theme song the whole time, I'm like, this is like Nakamura. It was fun. This is like Nakamura when he first debuted against Sami Zayn. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, man.
Even Logan Paul, shout out Logan Paul. I'm not a fan of Logan Paul. I hate him less than his brother, but but it's like, yo, he did his thing too. He got the Eddie heat.
Yeah, dude. No, dude. When he did the Three Amigos, I was losing my mind. I was like, let's go, Logan. Get that heat, brother. No, I really don't mind Logan Paul anymore. Like, I know a lot of people still like don't like him, but I feel like he's got his act together for the most part. I feel like he hasn't done anything controversial since
his brother's on the other hand. Did you see? Yeah. I don't think you ever got around to seeing that kickoff. Like, boy.
Yeah,
he was on that kickoff.
I'm not rocking with Jake, but I think I go far to say I like Logan enough to see what he's doing.
Yeah, like in passing. Like I'm not going out of my way to see his content. I'm not going my way to
like I'm not watching Impulsive every week, but if they got wrestlers on there, then I'll check it out.
Oh yeah, like his interview with Sasha and Becky. I'm like, I saw clips of it, but
that was a good interview. I'll give him that.
It was. You saw some. You could tell they were relaxed. Like so I appreciate it. But WrestleMania, man, it's like outside of that main event, it was fun. Like Stone Cold,
my favorite Mania since like 31, to be honest.
To think of because a lot of them, I barely remember 32. I barely remember 33. 34 was in New Orleans. It was fine. 35, which was the longest Mania. I like that one for moments, like Kofi Mania, Becky winning, Seth beating Brock. Like those are my three moments that I enjoy. Everything else was just like I barely remember it. 30, the pandemic era. If I had to choose between the two, the 2020 was just like
they made the most out of whatever.
They could. But the one with Bianca, the two main events for Mania last year, night 1 and 2, was my two favorites. Yeah. I enjoyed those, as well as the Bad Bunny match with Damian Priest and Miz and Morrison. But yeah, this Mania, from like every match that outside of the Charlotte and Ronda, like I couldn't even find myself caring at all. Everything else was
dead for that match until the end. They pulled it together at the end. Like I was not liking it, but then like I don't remember exactly what point of the match, but like they really got the crowd invested, including myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That the first half was
just like
not good.
and I don't know what it is. This is like I try my best to kick. See the way I watch wrestling now. I try my best to go in. I'm like, okay, I'm watching this. Let me try to like. I'm not finna be I'm a fan of shenanigans now.
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm not out here trying to like. Oh, I want this to be like a 20-minute classic. Like no, 5 minutes minimum, 10 minutes max. You have my attention. If you got to go 20 minutes, you better bring me something to keep me that action. Because if not, after that's just me. Once it hits that 20 and it's still going, I'm like, all right, let me see what's Twitter talking about. Yeah. That's literally me every time. I'm like, bro, let me see. This is something. This is a match. This happened. But before I let you go, bro, this has been actually a solid, fun conversation. I got
I've been vibing.
I got it, literally pun intended. I got some a speed round, if you will. I don't have a name for it because it's literally just say, you know what, screw it. I might do this for every interview that I have with wrestling related. The speed round Q&A. I want you to list 5 of your favorite black wrestlers, past and present, not exclusive to WWE.
Okay. Bianca Belair. No particular order.
No particular order.
Yeah, Bianca Belair, Kofi Kingston, Big E, Xavier, to be honest. Honestly, probably Keith Lee.
Keith.
Yeah, I love Keith, man.
Bro, his theme song in AEW, that's on my playlist, bro.
I bet there's some people I'm missing, but off the top of my head right now, at least, that's my 5.
If you had the opportunity to change the outcome of a match, no particular match, any match, what match would it be and why? Like if you had if a match happened that you was hyped for and the outcome wasn't what you wanted personally, how would you change it and why?
The whole match or just the
outcome, just the ending?
I think I'd have to say Shinsuke and AJ at Mania. They man, that match, that should have been a banger. That should have been a banger.
It was not.
If anything, like, since I can't change how the match was, at least Nakamura should have won, in my opinion. I don't know how anybody else thinks about it, but
and then they turned him heel, and he was obsessed. And he was obsessed with dicks.
For real, always kicking AJ in the dick. Always,
like dog, and then it became a whole gimmick where he was just. I'm like, okay. They just took all the excitement out of Nakamura from me. I think that's when he never recovered from me. Like, him being with Rick Boogs, it kind of brought him back a little bit. But I'm like, I still think about that time he was obsessed with kicking people in the dick.
Yeah, man. Like before, like when he got lyrics in his theme song, that's when I stopped caring about Shinsuke Nakamura. Like what? I don't know what you saying to me right now.
Are you cussing me out right now? Like, we can scrap. We can
go right now.
We can go right now. I'm gonna wear a cup because you like kick me in the dick, but we can go right now. All right, now I'm gonna shoot out some names of wrestlers, and in short, like you don't have to do like a full speech. In short, tell me your thoughts of these wrestlers that I list. Brock Lesnar.
All-time great. One of the all-time greats. Sorry. Yeah, one of.
Bobby Lashley.
I like him. I think he's solid. I don't know what else to say about Bobby. I love Bobby.
Bobby Lashley, if you like. Roman Reigns.
Oh, the head of the table, the tribal chief. One of the best gimmicks in professional wrestling right now.
Ooh.
Just throwing that out there.
Argue with your mama. Edge.
Edge?
Yeah.
GOAT. One of the GOATs, bro. Come on, it's Edge. When that man retired, I was so sad. No, all right, little backstory on Edge, right? Mm-hmm. So at the time, when I first got into wrestling at 8 or 9 years old, broke, didn't have cable. You know what I had though? SmackDown, because it was on whatever news channel or whatever
UPN
at the time. Yeah, exactly. So something I can watch. And at the time, Edge was at the top of his game, world champion, you know what I'm saying? And I just loved everything he was doing, the emotion he had, the finisher, everything. I love Edge. So when he retired, I was sad, man. I was like, damn, my favorite right now just retired as I'm getting into this damn sport.
Oh, man. Wait, you was just getting into when he retired?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah,
you missed a peak.
I missed everything, dude. I missed everything. Because, when I was younger, before I watched wrestling, I knew about it. And I did go to one live show. And I think that's what got my foot in the door with it. Because, my aunt took me when I was, 6, I think. 6 or 7, something like that. And I got to see Randy Orton, John Cena, all these people, and I'm like, oh, okay, I actually know these people because when I was even younger than that, sometimes I would go to my friend's house and they would have the games, so I'd play it, so I knew who these people were, but I just didn't watch it yet. And then I was sick one day at home. And then I was like,
you just turned it on.
Yeah, I was like, Mom, can you turn on SmackDown? Because she was going to bed. I was like, can you turn on SmackDown? The first match I saw was Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston for the Intercontinental Championship. Vicky Guerrero was there. They had a banger. And I know, honestly, one of the 2 most random people to really get me invested in wrestling. You know, we could talk about Randy Orton, John Cena, Undertaker, but it was Kofi and Dolph that got me into it. They had a banger.
Kofi, man, that man, that man is out there, man. Yo, it's funny how you say you mentioned you were younger, because fun fact, I started watching wrestling in '99 when I was 4.
I was born in '99.
I was 4. So my mom, kid you not, my mom saw me watching it. She said, "If you don't get your ass out in front of that watching this shit, you are." I'm like,
oh yeah,
I'm just sitting
the
there.
belt got threatened.
I'm like, oh shit. so I got, but then I got back into it in like 06, 05.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I missed the whole Eddie Guerrero era. I was like, bro, if I was just reintroduced to it just a little bit, I probably would have saw peak Eddie Guerrero. But it is what it is. Next name, John Cena.
Dude, okay. I'm gonna say it right now, bro. The greatest sports entertainer of all time. Not professional wrestler or anything, because my favorite professional wrestler is Bryan Danielson. But I think the greatest sports entertainer of all time, John Cena. There's no way. There's no one else.
It's like you love to hate him. Growing up, I don't know why. I think I was just easily influenced at the time. I was like, oh, I hate John Cena, this, that. But then when I actually started looking back, I'm like, bro, this dude was not that bad.
I don't know why. I was never in that period where I hated John Cena. Like, I definitely didn't agree with every single booking decision, you know, shout out Nexus. But there were like, I always loved John Cena. Like anything he did, glued to the TV. I was
watching 2008 to 2010 John Cena. So it was kind of like he was always winning. So I think that's where my hatred started like manifesting. And then once it became a trend, I'm like, oh yeah, let's boo. And then I believe I started respecting him was the U.S. Open Challenge.
Yes, dude.
That's when I'm like, okay, now I respect you, bro. Like, come on.
To be honest, I think that's one of his best runs of all time.
Oh,
like,
it is.
I know I missed a lot of like his earlier stuff, and I've seen like highlights, so like I know what he's done. But like watching it, that was untapped, bro. He was having banger matches every week. The freaking Kevin Owens, you know, debuting with the NXT Championship. That banger with Sami Zayn, Cesaro. Dude, no, John Cena was on another level in 2015.
My first John Cena match was his TLC match versus Edge. That's the first one I saw live, like legitimately live. And then I obviously went back, but I saw it. I'm like, yo, I remember that. I remember exactly where I was. I was literally in my uncle's basement watching it, and I'm like, yo, this is actually insane. Like, and I'm sitting there as a kid like, that shit don't hurt. Like, you ain't get no splinter and some shit. Like, what is going on? But John Cena, if you don't respect him, I'm like, that's your problem.
Yeah, bro. Facts.
Next name, Randy Orton.
Oh, he was my favorite of all time before it was Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, whatever. You know, I think Randy Orton is the smoothest wrestler of all time. Period.
And he's smart.
Yes,
like,
dude.
He ain't out here like, bro. I joke around, but I might just say screw it, because I'm in that age now where I'm just saying screw it. I might just say fuck it. I'm just gonna take a class and train to see if I can take the wrestles. But I'm like, I literally, like, you probably see I put out tweets. I'm like, they was like, hey, Gresh, you gonna take a tope? You gonna take a suicide? I said, I think not. No.
Dude, if WWE hit me up tomorrow and said, hey, we want you on the show, we want you to do something crazy, I swear to God, I'd tell them, put me through a table. I want to go through a table, bro. I want to be a meme. I don't care, bro. Put me through a table,
bro.
That would be fun.
Yo, man, it's like I told people, I said, yo, if I'm a wrestler, bro, I'm gonna be basically Samoa Joe.
I like that.
I'm gonna knock you out, but I'm not finna be out here taking no. I'm not finna, like, you trying to, hey, I'm gonna take this dive. I'm like, nope. Not at all, man. But next name, The Rock.
I miss so much of his career, bro. You want to know something? You want to know something so sad? I fucking like I said, I started watching around 2008, 2009, whatever. So when he comes back, and like when he first comes back, or after that long hiatus,
2011.
2011. I go, oh, I watched a couple of his movies. I love The Rock. Oh, wait.
He
used to wrestle? that is how I figured out The Rock used to wrestle, bro.
You're like, wait,
Yeah, because I was watching like highlights on YouTube or something back in that day, because I didn't have Raw, so that's the only way I could watch Raw. So I see he returns, and I go, "Oh, I love The Rock." Yeah.
If you let me tell you, if you grew up watching The Rock, your mom would have been like my mom and said, "Get the fuck away from that TV."
Yep.
Because the way this man used to talk,
was wild.
He was hair done like Whoopi Shea McMahon, still a pussy. I'm like, ooh, boy. But yo, The Rock. Fun fact, I like how you mentioned that you say you saw The Rock with his movies before you figured out he was a wrestler. Fun fact about Drake. Growing up, I used to watch Degrassi.
Oh, no way.
I never put two and two together until I saw Drake. I'm like, you look familiar. I'm like, wait, you're Wheelchair Jimmy?
No, I hated Degrassi. I tried to give it a shot when I was younger, and I just did not like it. But I didn't watch the one with Drake on it.
That was the earlier season. Like,
yeah,
he left in like season 8. He was in the wheelchair, and I'm like, bro, you're wheelchair. When I watched it, it was like my guilty pleasure. Was it the best show of all time? No. Was it like a breath of fresh air to see actual teenagers portrayed by fucking teenagers and not adults?
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, like, I don't have, like, I think that was just one of my guilty pleasures as a kid. Like, now I see that they're rebooting. I'm like, I'm definitely not watching that shit. I'm not watching that shit. But but I like how you mentioned him earlier, Keith Lee.
Oh, wait, what are we talking about?
What we're talking about with the names.
Oh, right. Sorry, I got lost in the sauce of Drake.
You got lost in the sauce, but I should have reeled you back in. That's my bad. Yeah, let's reel it back in because we getting sidetracked. But Keith Lee, on your list of names, like, what are your thoughts of this wrestler?
I think Keith Lee. I hate trying to compare AEW and stuff like that because I just like to watch. I just watch what I watch, you know. But I do think one of the dumbest decisions WWE's done recently is let him go. Like, he is a star, bro. Like, the things he can do, he's funny, he can talk on the mic, everything, bro. I really don't get that decision. But I think Keith Lee is bound to be a world champion somewhere. If it's not in AEW, somewhere. We already saw it in NXT, you know, he held the NXT
Tony
title.
Khan bought Ring of Honor.
For
world champion.
You know,
I don't mind. I wouldn't mind Gresham versus Lee at some point.
Yeah, I think
not
Keith
me,
Lee
the
is
other
amazing. I think Keith Lee is amazing.
I actually agree with you on that. Like, when Keith Lee was like, bro, when he reminds me of my uncle. Like, legitimately, him and my uncle. Like, when he was just in NXT, I'm like, bro, this nigga is literally my uncle. The way he talked, the way he fight, I'm like, bro, this is shout out Jay. His name is, his nickname is Jay, but like, shout out Jay. It's literally Jay. Shit, this is the same dude. He walks like him. He tried, because growing up he used to chop me a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and as a kid, you walk around shirtless when you with the family. So
yeah,
imagine that. Like,
so he was asking for it at that point.
At that point, I'm like, bro. And then he would put the claw in. I don't know if you know that move, but like, they would. Yeah, like, he would choke my head. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? So when I saw Keith, I'm like, yo, this dude. And then the way he talked, the way he carried himself, the way he would become a meme when he was knocking Adam Cole into the crowd. I'm like, bro, how can you not book this man to be legitimately your next top guy? He came out at the Royal Rumble, got pops.
Yes,
he was the last man at Survivor Series for NXT. I'm like, bro, this dude is it. All you have to do is let him be him.
Exactly.
That's it.
Those are my favorite kinds of wrestlers, where you can tell that, like, it's just their personality turned up to a 10. Like, because like I love people like Keith Lee, and even though like Randy Orton is like kind of crazy in the ring, you can tell it's really him, but just on another level. But like, you know, John Cena, Bryan Danielson, I love people like Bianca Belair. You can tell she is exactly the same in person.
Oh yeah, more but calm, because I've seen her interviews. She's so humble and timid. I'm like, you just chilling, but she'll whoop your ass. But yeah, Keith Lee, and then I might as well just switch over to his tag team partner from AEW, Swerve Strickland.
Dude, Swerve is icy. Everything he does is so smooth.
His theme song, bro. I'm like,
everything. everything about him. Is he from Georgia? He gives me Atlanta vibes.
I believe
does he hang out there a lot?
He hangs out here a lot.
Yeah, I get those vibes.
Yeah, bro, catch by. I'm like, bro,
you know, he's dope.
Like, and it's like he's another one that I'm like, y'all let him go too?
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, am I missing something about what makes a star in WWE? Am I fucking missing something?
That's what I'm trying to figure. I'm like, do I gotta be big? Because if that's the case, I don't want to go. Like, I mean, as a content creator, yeah, you can let me go. Like, but as a wrestler, if I just say, you know, I want to wrestle, no,
yeah.
I'm kind of a slinky kind of guy. Like, I'm quick. Like, I'll knock you out, but I'm not finna bulk out. As much as I tried to gain weight over the pandemic. I gained it a little bit and lost it. I'm like, fuck.
My metabolism too high for that.
Exactly. So I'm like, fuck. So, hey, Swerve is one of those guys. Like, I'm not saying he could be like. I know a lot of people joke around. They're like, "Oh, do you see Swerve as the next AEW World Champion?" No, I can see him as the TNT champion, or if they want to keep this Ring of Honor thing, he can be the ROH TV champion. Well, he ain't being Samoa Joe, but but stuff like that. Like, I'm like, he has, like, you can literally do something. I'm like, I don't know, man, but yeah, Swerve, I agree with you. He's just, I think, and then I shout out to Dote again because he introduced me to a match I'd never seen. I never knew existed. It was Swerve versus Leo Rush. I'm like, I did not know that match existed.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
He watched that when Swerve just got, like, when they announced he got released. Like, WWE doesn't even do future endeavors no more. They just send it to dirt sheets.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, that's a new way. But when I saw that, I'm like, yo, this man is, how do you, anyway.
I don't get it.
You can't, it's like, and that's how I am with wrestling now. I'm not going to wrap my brain around it no more. I'm like, just wish you the best. And keep it pushing. I'm not going to get gray hair because I can't control Vince McMahon and his group of people. Next name I'm about to bring up, the absolute Ricky Starks.
Dude, I think he's world champion material already. I really do think that he got all the tools. Like, he's charismatic. He can go in the ring. I think it's only a matter of time before he's a world champion in AEW.
He has to be. Like, it's like the pop that this man got in New Orleans on Dynamite. I'm like, yo, what in the world? Shouts and honorable mention, Powerhouse Hobbs. That dude he's smooth. Even though he made that shirt that said "I break backs."
Yeah, dog. Come on, man. Come on.
When I said, bro, wearing this shit out in public out of context, how will I explain this?
That's like me wearing some merch that says BDE on it, and then people are like, "What the hell? Big dick energy."
Big dick. Big dick energy. Yeah, they be like, "You break
this
backs?
Nigga's a clown.
You break backs? Come on." I'm like, he like, you know what I mean? No, bro. Oh
no, we don't.
No. Like, let me wear this. Like, let me, like, another thing, like, let me wear Roman Reigns shirt, smash stack pin. Like, bro.
Yeah, what the hell? You gotta stop saying that shit.
Smash. You know.
He said,
fun fact, it's a term that they used in the 90s where we was like, I'm gonna smash you to smithereens because I'm about to cave your face in. But the way he say it,
yeah. Or like, bro, if you're gonna say, all right, I'm gonna smash him at WrestleMania, it's still a little sus. Whatever, though. I can see past it. But when he goes, I'm going to smash his ass. I'm like, all right, we need to calm down. We need to calm down.
Like, pause. Hey, yo.
Like, hey, yo, flag on the play.
Oh, time out. You going what now?
You going to do what?
What? What the fuck? But yo, it's so many wrestling shirts merch that I can wear out of contest. But Ricky Starks, to reel it back in one more time, Ricky Starks is one of those guys. Like, I can see, like, the way when he became FTW champion, I'm like, yo, this dude is legit.
Yeah,
I appreciate. He's a man. Like, he's, and it's funny how a lot of wrestlers are slowly, or significant others of wrestlers are slowly following me on Twitter, and I'm interacting. I'm getting introduced to a lot of these different black wrestlers. I'm like, wow, I appreciate this.
Yeah, for real. Dude, no, I don't know why. I still get that feeling. Like, I don't know if it's just me, like younger me somewhere inside. I don't know. But like when a wrestler that I like actually follows me, I'm like, okay, I appreciate that, bro. I
Thank
fuck
you,
with
sir.
that.
You ain't gonna see me out here posting that people follow me because I keep it pushing.
Right.
But I'll be like, yeah, I see that check
Yeah.
mark. I see that check mark. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. 2 more names before we wrap up this list. Samoa Joe.
Oh, dude, world champion material wherever he goes. It don't matter.
Did you see that?
Huh?
You see that match?
I know I haven't seen it, dude. I'll tell you something right now. I don't know what happened to me, but I think over the past 2 years, I love wrestling so much, but I think because I make content on it, I don't watch it because
I'll blame you.
Yeah, like I used to watch it all the time. Like I would, do my content later when Raw came on, watch Raw. Do my content, SmackDown comes on, watch it. Sometimes I would tune into NXT when it was black and gold and stuff. But I don't know. I think either I need a break from watching it weekly, and I have been doing that for like a long time now. But like I think my preferred way is it's just YouTube. Like I feel like that's how I stay happy with WWE. Like I don't agree with every decision, but like I can't watch Raw live. I mean, who can? It's 3 hours. But yeah, like I would prefer to miss it live and then go back, check out the clips I'm interested in, and that keeps me engaged with WWE. AEW, on the other hand, I love it. But like, I don't know. I don't know what's keeping me from watching it all the time. And I wish I could figure that out. But
I think it's more so, my opinion, I'm more so fan of story and character. When it's heavily wrestling, I kind of check out a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Like, because AEW, I watch every single AEW pay-per-view though. I have not missed one. But like their pay-per-views are always incredible, always. And I think what it is for me, I'm so big on presentation, and like their presentation is wonderful, but at the same time, it's not WWE, and I think that's the problem in a way. Like
if AEW had the WWE's presentation minus the camera cuts, I'll probably be like, yeah, it's a match.
Like honestly, if AEW had WWE money and they were doing whatever with video packages and all this, that, and that, I think I would be 10 times more invested.
And that's another thing. They don't really do video packages, and when they do, it's like, okay, cool. But then they'll have a debacle like that debut they had where people was like the Great Value, Great Khali. And I'm like, first off, don't be comparing all Indians. They're not the same. But I said, I literally put in my head, I'm like, I could have done without the lights out, because they rely heavily on the surprise. They don't really rely on the building people up. I that's the reason why Veer Mahan became a meme, because it was literally like, okay, when is the man going to debut? When is the nigga going to debut? Are you going to come yet? And then it became a whole like pause, because people say, "Oh, Gresh, what do you mean by that?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Fuck," and that's what led to my first Reddit video, because I'm like, "Oh shit." I did say this out of context, didn't I?
I think that's the thing with AEW. I really like it. Like, I'd even go as far to say as I love it. Like, I keep up with the clips on Twitter. Sometimes I'll check out stuff on YouTube. But I think I'm really enjoying my time as a casual viewer of WWE and AEW. Like,
that's how you do it.
I don't mind missing the weekly shows, but I will never miss a pay-per-view. I can't even tell you the last time I missed a pay-per-view. And like, since I've started watching wrestling, I think I've watched like every single AEW and WWE pay-per-view.
And I tell people that's how you do it, because you don't want to risk being that viewer that just literally gets frustrated or hate watches WWE. Because it was at that point where I was almost like that, and I said, you know what? No, I'm not about to do that. So what I did was I give me a shot of CBD oil. I just chill, and I make a joke out of literally everything. Like, I tell people, I had to put this tweet out because some people, they still don't get it. I'm like, yo, anything I tweet is literally a joke. I don't watch wrestling seriously anymore. I used to, but I don't, because there's no point. It's scripted violence. I'm not about to lose my mind and my piece of sanity for scripted violence. It's not about to happen.
Exactly. I ain't got time for it. I don't have the time. Like, when I was in 2019, that was around the time I stopped watching it consistently. Mainly because I got a girlfriend, so I didn't have time to watch it all the time.
Hey, I tell people this all the time, yo. If you have a choice between getting the cheeks or watching some wrestling, you better go with the cheeks.
Yeah, always, bro.
I don't
always.
It will wrestling will be there.
Exactly.
She or he or whatever your preference is not going to always be there. Focus on your relationship.
Exactly. Always.
Like I tell people this all the time. I say, hey, let a chick hit me up. Say, hey, you what you doing later? Hanging with you. Single. Like
exactly. Like
bro.
yeah, dude. But I used to be like so frustrated by booking decisions all the time. And I'm like,
too.
They don't care. And so why should I? They don't care.
And that's literally how I look at it. Like whether it's because the AEW isn't perfect, like with their women's division, it's kind of a headache. I tell people, I'm like, yo, just it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Like I'm not. I try not to time off like I don't give a shit, but it's like there's no point in me. It's like if they show, I give people time, but if they show that they're not really trying to improve nothing, there's no point in me losing my peace of mind. Like
yeah. I think what I used to do was when like a booking decision was just absolutely dumb, right? I would like be mad about it because I was so passionate. I'd be so mad about it. And then sometimes it could ruin the rest of my day, depending on what time it was. It could like ruin the rest of my day, or I'd be like mad about that situation for a minute. So like I was like, what the hell? Why am I doing this? This is pointless. So like I think at a certain point, I will just react to what happened. If it's stupid, you'll see it on Twitter from me. I'll say my opinions, and then I'll let it go. After that, it is what it is.
I'll be like, well, like this is my nice comeback now. I'll be like, well, that match happened. What's next? Exactly. That's literally me. I'm like, what? There's nothing. I'm like, well, that happened. Let's move on.
Yep.
And to reel it back in one more time for the last one, this is for the people who watch both of our contents because it's become a meme now. Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose. Let me tell you about Mandy Rose, brother. No, dude, no, that meme really just took off.
How did that happen, though?
Bro, okay, so someone found a post of when I liked like one of her Instagram pictures from like I don't even remember when. It was either 2019 or 2020. Yeah, I just like the post. I was like, you see what I'm saying, bro. Don't deny it.
That's a gorgeous woman. I ain't gonna cap.
But like, but then at the time too, I also did like her in-ring work. I thought she could like improve, but I like the direction she was going. I think she's solid now.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think Mandy Rose is good. I don't know. There's her promos are still not where
it sounds a little dry from time to time.
Yeah, like
when she delivers, she don't have no little sass to it. Just like she's just reading a script. That's just
like I feel like the delivery is fine, but just give a little more emotion. That's it.
Yeah, I think she's just lacking in the emotion part. I'm pretty sure once she gets that right drive, it's about drive. Remember that meme? Once she get that drive, she'll probably push it because that's just my only. Because I watch NXT 2.0. Like, that's literally one of the shows that I can actually stomach watching it because it's characters and gimmick and pretty much meme heavy.
Yeah.
That's my cup of tea. So I'm like, and it's just 2 hours. So I'm like, okay, bet. I can watch it. Cool. Like, so it's like when I saw her on, I'm like, yeah, she's getting there. And then when I saw her at Stand and Deliver, because I actually watched it, it came on at 12 o'clock. I'm like, this is an early ass show, but
it is.
But it came on and I watched it. I'm like, okay, she's actually hanging in there with. She didn't stand out in a bad way. She stood out like, okay, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
I know what I'm doing. So kudos to Mandy Rose on that. But man, you and Mandy Rose is like me and Nikita Lyons, bro.
Dude, don't.
People keep tagging me in that shit.
You gonna get me in trouble, dog.
I'm probably just got myself in trouble. That shit going on the Reddit already. All I did was put out help because I'm like I was trying to contemplate what I'm seeing, and people just blew up and just said, "So, what you need help with?"
You said, "Look, if I speak, Twitter will suspend me."
Or I will get put on probation because shout out to Public Enemy podcast. They got put on probation because they was I think they said something similar, and I'm like, and they got a bigger following than me. So I'm like, shit, damn, if I speak. So now I just, but when it's a black woman, I don't give a shit. Shout out Jade Cargill, shout out Sasha Banks, Naomi, who else? Kiera Hogan. Shout out all these black women that are just downright gorgeous. Now, let me correct you. I'm not being weird about it. I'm just giving them their props. Because some people be like, when I say, oh, they're like, oh, you lusting. I'm like, bro, but I don't say nothing when y'all be lusting after Roman Reigns.
Hey, no, look, okay, no, for real. I've always seen it on Twitter. If people hate me for it, whatever. I don't think there's anything wrong with appreciating someone's looks if you can at least appreciate their in-ring work too.
Right.
Because like, you know, we may think, you know, Mandy Rose is the most beautiful woman on earth, but she can go in the ring, and at the end of the day, that's what I actually care about. Like, so all the stuff is just jokes, but
it's literally like I know Sasha's married, I know Naomi's married, I know Kiera Hogan has a relationship, I know Jade Cargill is married. I'm like, bro, I'm just joking. I know if I see them in person, I'm gonna talk to them like a normal person. Like I tell this joke all the time. I'm like, yo, if I ever see Beyonce or anybody else in person, I'm not going to be that fanboy. I'm literally gonna be like, how you doing? And I'm going to keep it pushing. That's just me. That's just how I am.
I will say, if I meet Beyonce, I'm keeping it cool, but inside, I'm losing my damn mind.
Like, yo,
I'm losing my damn mind.
That's how you do it, man. But that was the list of all the wrestlers. But yo, man, this is hilarious, dog. Like I'm pretty sure that this entire conversation about Mandy Rose is probably going on somebody's Reddit.
Oh yeah. I expect it on somebody's.
I have two Reddits, one for Freepedia and one for just me and the nonsense. And literally Freepedia is literally, what do you mean, Gresh? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by? Oh my god, dog. I'm looking at highlight because he's the co-founder of Freepedia. I'm like, bro, can you post something so they can get off my back?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? I'm like, but man, I appreciate you for joining your boy. You know,
thanks for having me, bro.
Anybody who don't know this man by now, you've probably been living on the rock. This man is probably one of the biggest YouTubers as far as in the WWE or the wrestling community in general. He's pretty much a chill cat. I hate to say, he just be chilling, bro. Like, and if you are following him on Twitter or social media at it's BrandonDE, is your IG the same or is it at BDE?
Bro, I wish my IG was the same. I wish my IG name was all across social media except like YouTube and stuff. But my IG is B Collymore.
Oh, I probably got to follow that because I need to follow that. I when I tell you I suck at following people, it's nothing against anybody. It's just I literally have an account and I log in and I log out. I don't get notified when people follow me anymore, so I have to legitimately search you out. So if people don't like tweet me or reply to a tweet, I don't know if anybody's following me. So I'm like, so people like, why you didn't follow me back? I didn't even know you followed me, dog. I didn't even see you, bro. I didn't even see you. I'm sorry. Follow me again. I'm sorry. I'll follow you back. Just let me know. But yo, follow him for real. Like, even if you don't like wrestling, I mean, I get it. You can follow this dude has a personality. I'm like, yo, this dude is infectious because his laugh is hilarious. I'll be literally like, when he be laughing, I'm like, bro, this dude, I can laugh at this dude. Like he and it's very rare that you get that. And I don't praise a lot of people, and I can without a shadow of a doubt praise this man 100%. He is out there. He's out there
My
hustling.
head getting bigger now.
Oh, he got a big ass head now. Like, you know, like I got a big ass head myself, but you know, his head getting a little bit bigger. We praising him up, but we hyping him up. But yo, I understand people getting a big head when they know they put in the work, and you put in the work. So I already know, like, if you just got a big head and you just full of shit, you can go that way. But he actually puts in the work, whether you the viewer or listener sees it behind the scenes or not. He puts in the work, and he will do the damn thing. Like,
look, the way I see it. Look, the numbers speak for himself. That's it.
Talk your talk.
I don't need to be cocky. I don't need to do any of that. I just like to spread some positivity. I like to talk to people. That's it.
Sound like got me sound like Trick Williams on NXT. Talk your talk, Mello. Talk your talk, BDE.
Dude, I love them together.
when BDE and VYBE shoot, they don't miss.
Yeah.
But yo, on some real stuff, and if you are new around here and if you know who I am, like, you probably following coming from him. You don't know who I am. It's just your boy Gresh, Gresh. I used to make a whole meme about it, but yo, I'm just one of the chillest guys in Atlanta because I tried my best to live life to the fullest, even if I can't afford it. But I will try my best to live my life to the fullest. And if you want to follow me, all you gotta do is follow my direct link at Josh Gresham RG, or just go to solo.to/Gresh. That has all my links, literally every single link possible. You can follow that. And with that being said, man, I appreciate you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me on, man.
I will literally plug the shit out of this, so you are just giving you a heads up.
They make sure to link it to me when it's out.
Yes, sir. With that being said, you guys stay safe out there in these weird streets, and remember to always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. We out, Pete Breezy.